Okay guys, we're ready for the story Bunny Cakes. And remember we said in the last video it's by Rosemary Wells. And you can see the bunny is inside of the mixing bowl. Looks like there's some eggs down here. This is what's called a whisk. And this is a measuring cup. And it looks like there's a bottle of some sort of liquid here, possibly oil. Okay? So here's the story of Bunny Cakes. It was Grandma's birthday. Max made her an earthworm birthday cake. No, Max, said Max's sister Ruby. We are going to make Grandma an angel surprise cake with raspberry fluff icing. Did you hear that? They said earthworm birthday cake. Have you ever had an earthworm birthday cake? Oh, yeah. Max wanted to help. Don't touch anything, Max, said Ruby. But it was too late. Ruby sent Max to the store with a list that said eggs. So I think maybe Max might be the younger sibling and Ruby is the older sibling. And here's the list. It says eggs. I'm going to go to the store. Why do you think he's going to the store to get eggs? Do you see why they need eggs? I'm not sure if Max was helping or not. Max wanted red hot marshmallow squirters for his earthworm cake. So he wrote red hot marshmallow squirters on the list. The grocer could not read Max's writing. Eggs, said the grocer, and he gave Max eggs. Why do you think the grocer couldn't read Max's writing? Right underneath eggs is where he wrote red hot marshmallow squirters. Do you think he is old enough to write yet? I don't think so. So the grocer is like, hey, all I see is eggs, so that's what I'm going to give you. This time Max wrote red hot marshmallow squirters in a different way. Max hoped and hoped for his squirters, but the grocer still couldn't read Max's writing. Milk, said the grocer, and he gave Max milk. Do you see his list? It says milk on it. Max brought the milk home to Ruby. There's a yellow line on the floor, Max, said Ruby. You can't step over that line. That's so big, sister of her, isn't it? But Max crossed the line anyways, and over went the flour. Ruby got out her pencil. What do you think Ruby's going to write on the note this time for Max? He's going to go back to the store, and you guessed it. She's going to say, get some flour, because look what Max did. Went over the yellow line, and there's the flour spilled on the floor. This time Max wrote, red hot marshmallow squirters, in the most beautiful writing he knew. Max could almost taste the marshmallow squirters. Flour, said the grocer, and he gave Max flour. Max is trying really hard to write red hot marshmallow squirters, but all the grocer sees is just what Ruby wrote, which is flour. When Max got home, there was a sign on the kitchen door. It said, Max, the kitchen is no place for you, said Ruby. Ruby finished up her cake. How would you feel if you had that sign and that was a picture of you and your brother or sister would say, stay out? Maybe it's on their door, maybe it's in the kitchen, or maybe it's outside and they don't want you to be where they are at. That makes you kind of sad. But look at that. Ruby's like, I'm finishing my cake without any interruption. It's hard to be siblings sometimes and to get along. She baked and cooked it and iced it and with raspberry fluff frosting. It needs something else, Max said. Max, said Ruby. Birthday candles, silver stars, sugar hearts, buttercream roses, wrote Ruby. Meanwhile, Max had a brand new idea. So she's frosted it and she's like, it just needs something else. Look at Max, he's tasting the spoon. I always like to do that too when people are baking. And so Ruby's like, this is what we need. And Max says, I think I have a different idea. So what do you think Max is going to do? He drew a picture of red hot marshmallow squirters on Ruby's list and ran to the grocer. He could not wait. Birthday candles, silver stars, sugar hearts, buttercream roses, said the grocer. What's this? Why, it must be red hot marshmallow squirters. So here's what Ruby wrote, and you can see that Max drew the red hot marshmallow squirters. And guess what? The grocer finally figured out what he was asking for, and it looks like he gave him a box of them. And I think the red hot marshmallow squirters are a type of candy. Ruby's cake looked just beautiful. Max went out and put caterpillar icing on his earthworm cake. So here's Ruby's cake, and here's Max's cake. Which one would you want to eat? An earthworm cake or a cake with raspberry frosting on it? Well, guess what? You know how grandmas are so special? So guess what grandma said? She was so thrilled she didn't know which cake to eat first. Because grandmas always love whatever their grandkids make them. Grandma is quite pretty in her purple little bonnet, isn't she? Okay, so this book is called Bunny Cakes. And remember, what we're going to do with this is we're going to talk about the way we are with our siblings. And so as a reminder, our cool words were iced. Remember, we iced the cake. Another word that we had for cool words was, let me think here. The other cool word, I'm going to find it in the book here really quickly, is grocer. So the grocer helped Max get the items that he needed from the grocery store. And then also thrilled. Do you think Grandma was thrilled with what the 2 cakes that her grandkids gave her? I think they were too. Okay, and then just as a reminder, you can have the conversations with your siblings and with your parents about those questions about your siblings. And so what's it like to be older or younger? Which one's better? What's it hard about it? And also, is it easier to be younger, easier to be older? And how do your parents treat you differently when you're the oldest or when you're the youngest? The other thing that I would ask you to do is you're home together, make some cookies, make some cakes, and enjoy those treats with your family. Miss Wagner loves you. Bye-bye.